So a little disclaimer, there's actually no body in this video. This isn't a Logan Paul video. We're not going to show you a body. This is a story of something that happened in 1977 and the explanation of why we call this tree right here Dead Man's Tree. So the date was February 20th, 1977, and my parents had ridden the horses out here with me on them, 3 years old. We rested at this tree right here, which is something we would commonly do. Rest the horses, and then we were going to walk them to a dirt road right over here, and then take them home. So as we walked this direction right here, with the horses to that dirt road, it was actually right here that we found it. A body. Okay, I lied. We do have a dead body right here. It's probably someone's sheep or something like that. A lot of ranchers out here bring the bodies out here and the coyotes eat them. But it was right here that we found, in a shallow grave, a dead body. In front of this tree is a track that the kids call Dead Man's Track, but not a lot of them actually know why the track is called Dead Man's Track. It's called Dead Man's Track because of this tree right here, Dead Man's Tree, and the body we found over there. When I was 3 years old and growing up until just recently, the story I always was told was that the body was that of a gentleman who was having an affair with the wife of a leader of the Mexican Mafia, Michael Delia. What I've come to find out in my research is that that is not actually true. Ellen Delia, Michael Delia's wife, had married him after she had gotten him a job in her halfway houses running them. Thinking that he'd turn over another leaf, this was something that she was doing. It was called Project Get Going, or Operation Get Going, OGG. What Michael Delia did is what is commonly happening now in drug prevention programs, was that he used them to traffic guns and sell drugs through the halfway houses. Now, Ellen Delia was actually going to Sacramento to inform government officials of the Operation Get Going infiltration by the Mexican Mafia. And Michael Delia had her killed by a Mexican hitman by the name of Sosa. Michael Delia then also killed Robert Lewis, who was the aide to State Senator Garcia at the time, and he killed Fritos Trulia, Fritos being a Mexican Mafia gang member who he thought was going to snitch on him. That's the body we actually found over here. Now my memory of it from being 3 years old was that of a very dark body. And I always thought in my head that the story I've been told that the hair never stops growing, that he just had dark black hair and was a darker skinned Mexican guy. But it turns out, even in my memory, he's pitch black. It's not a human skin tone. It's not anything you would see on the darkest African American or the darkest Mexican or the tannest person. It was an unnatural color. And I remember thinking back that at 3 years old, the thing that my brain resonated to was that of a gorilla. It turns out the body had been burned and then disemboweled by animals out here. Just like the bone that I picked up was probably that of some sheep that had been torn apart by the coyotes. So he'd been partially burned. He was naked with a jacket over his left arm and a glove on his left hand, the calling card of the Mexican Mafia. I do have memory of police copters out here and policemen out here, but at 3 years old, it's just basically the helicopters and all the excitement. I didn't quite resonate in my head what I'd found or what I'd seen. I do know that my dad would tell stories of nightmares of finding dead bodies on our fence, or coming home to find us killed by the Mexican Mafia simply for finding the body. But the reality is, that was just the third body, and Ellen's body had already been found in Sacramento. Wasn't dumped well, it was just dumped on the side of the street. Robert Lewis's body was found pretty quickly too. This was actually the best hidden body in a shallow grave. The body actually was dumped just a short distance from this dirt road right here. In fact, when I say a short distance, the greasewood is simply right off the side of this dirt road. This location was chosen because just down that way was Michael Delia's uncle. A nice gentleman. He used to let me play tennis at his tennis courts. But this is the greasewood right here. So a short little dump into a short, shallow grave. Just a small distance from his property. Finding the body, there wasn't a lot of evidence around it. I think the body had probably been there for a while. They had gotten Michael Delia because Ellen Delia had been killed, and he was known to be a former Mexican Mafia member. They actually set up a prison informant who was wearing a wire on his leg, who got Delia to admit to killing Robert Lewis and Fritos. Why am I telling you all this? Because this is a moment that shaped my life. 3 years old, finding a dead body.